Good evening. There we go. I'd like to welcome everybody to the Canton Township Administration Building for the regular board meeting on December 9th, 2025 at 6:30 PM. Can we all please rise for the Pledge of Allegiance? To the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands,
One nation, under God,
God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Take roll call.
All right. Supervisor Graham Hudak. Let the record reflect the clerk Segrist is in attendance. Treasurer Slavens.
Good evening.
Trustee Borninski. Trustee Graham Hudak. Well, that hasn't been that way for a very long time. Trustee Ganguly.
Good evening.
Let the record reflect that Trustee Foster is absent. And then Trustee Ansari.
Despite the cold, I am here for you all.
Thank you.
Yay. Thank you. So our first item is to move into closed session.
Madam Supervisor, I move that the board enter into closed session to consult with counsel regarding trial or settlement strategy in connection with Outdoor One versus Canton Township under Section 8E of the open meeting and for strategy and negotiation sessions connected with the negotiation of a collective bargaining agreement under Section 8C of the Open Meetings Act.
Support.
Motion made by Clerk Seeger, supported by Treasurer Slavens. Now we'll take roll call.
Ganguly.
Aye.
Segrist, aye. Graham
Aye.
Hudak.
Aye.
Slavens.
Aye.
Borninski.
Aye.
Ansari.
Aye.
We will be back. Okay, thanks. So we are coming back from closed session. So can I have a motion to come back from closed session?
So moved.
Motion made by Clerk Seeger, supported by Treasurer Slavens. All in favor say aye.
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 Opposed, nay. Motion passes. Next, we have the approval of minutes for November 18th.
Agenda.
Oh, I'm sorry, adoption of the agenda.
So moved.
Support.
Motion made by Clerk Seeger, supported by Trustee Ganguly. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, nay. Motion passes. Next, we have the, public comment on agenda items. We don't have public here. Emma, would you like to ask any questions? No? All right, we have 4 attendees. Please raise your hand electronically if you would like to ask a question on the agenda items. Great, okay. Now we go on to the approval of the minutes.
Madam Supervisor, I move to approve the minutes from the November 18th, 2025 Board of Trustees meeting.
Support.
Motion made by Clerk Seeger, supported by Treasurer Slavens. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, nay. Motion passes. Treasurer's report and payment of bills.
Madam Supervisor, I motion that we make, that we pay the bills from 11:25 and 12:10:25.
Support.
Motion made by Treasurer Slavens, supported by Trustee Brzezinski. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, nay. Motion passes. Great. Now the consent calendar.
Madam Supervisor, I move that the board adopt the consent calendar as presented. C1, request for resolution of local body of government to recognize Independent Living Alliance as a nonprofit in the community for the purposes of making an application for the charitable gaming license to the Michigan Gaming Control Board. C2, consider 2026 meeting dates for the Commission for Culture, Arts, and Heritage. Item C3, consider approval of 2026 Building Board of Appeals meeting dates. C4, consider the approval of the private property traffic enforcement for Westridge Estates subdivision. C5, consider authorization of a purchase order to Fishback for professional engineering services for the 2026 water main CIP. C6, consider renewal of Civic Plus website hosting services, Civic Optimize, and AMMS. Item C7, request for resolution of local body of government to recognize Plymouth High School girls soccer as a nonprofit in the community for the purpose of making an application for a charitable gaming license to the Michigan Gaming Control Board. C8, consider approving an increase in the blanket purchase order issued to Airgas Great Lakes. C9, request approval to renew firewall services and maintenance agreement. C10, request authorization to pay bills in 2026 when no regular board meeting is scheduled. C11, consider 2026 Planning Commission meeting schedule. C12, consider 2026 Zoning Board of Appeals meeting schedule. C13, consider second reading and adoption of Public Trees and Woodlands Ordinance. C14, consider second reading and adoption of amendment to Appendix A of the Zoning Code of Ordinances for the Zoning Board of Appeals membership. And finally, item C15, request approval for security camera replacements administrative building.
Support.
Motion made by Clerk Seeger, supported by Trustee Borninski. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, nay. Motion passes. Next, we have consider approving a 2-year contract renewal for the animal sheltering services.
Madam Supervisor, I move.
Madam
to-
Supervisor, would you just mention that it's the general calendar?
Calendar item G1.
Madam Supervisor, I move to approve the proposed agreement with the Michigan Humane Society for Animal Sheltering Services in the total amount of $67,500 in 2026 and $91,240 in 2027, with ancillary fees as necessary not to exceed $5,000 annually, and a required amendment to increase the 2026 police budget by $17,500.
Support.
Motion made by Clerk Seeger, supported by Trustee Borninski. The Police Department is requesting to renew a 2-year agreement with Michigan Humane Society for Animal Sheltering Services for an annual flat rate of $67,500 in 2026 and an annual flat rate of $91,140 in 2027. Ancillary fees listed in the contract are charged on an as-needed basis, with the requested purchase orders not to exceed $5,000 per year. The Michigan Humane Society is the only viable option in the area to provide a level of animal sheltering that aligns with Canton standards of care. This 501c3 organization is increasing their contractual costs to all communities for shelter improvements. It also includes a required amendment request to increase the 2026 police budget by $17,500. So, Mr. Johnson, do you want to add anything?
I have nothing to add at this time.
Okay. Board have any questions? Kate?
Yeah, so, noticed in the, in the second year, it goes up quite a bit. Is that part of, they're doing the improvements that were mentioned?
Yeah, so they have two different buildings. They have a newer building that they're trying to get funding for to do some extra housing for the communities. They approached us during the last contract period and let us know that there was going to be an extreme increase in the fees due to that building being renovated.
Thank you.
Any questions? All in favor of the motion say aye.
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 Opposed, nay. Motion passes. Item G2, consider approving purchase of 2 50th anniversary wall displays.
Madam Supervisor, I move to approve the purchase of 2 50th anniversary wall displays from Paragon Design Plus Display in the amount of $16,847.98.
Support.
Motion made by Clerk Seeger, supported by Trustee Ganguly. Okay, come on. So, for the past 9 months, the Police Department's 50th Anniversary Committee has been researching and gathering information to properly recognize and celebrate the department's first 50 years of service. This research included visiting neighboring law enforcement agencies, which led the committee to the versatility of the products developed by Paragon Design and Display. The Police Department is requesting to purchase 2 50th anniversary wall displays that will highlight the history of the police department and the police chiefs who served during this time. The cost of the displays, including design, graphic product, and installation, is $16,847.98. Forfeiture funds earmarked in the 2025 budget will be utilized for this expense. Mr. Johnson, do you want to add anything?
Just that this is a project that our committee's been working on for quite some time, and they've done quite a bit of work traveling to different agencies and everything to try to get ideas of what to present in our department. And like I said, they've put a lot of work in this.
A big celebration next year. Any questions or comments?
I'll just point out that we're 9 years away from Canton Township's 200-year anniversary. Just put that on the calendar.
Yes.
But
And next-
Congratulations on 50 years.
Next year's,
Soon.
the US' 250th anniversary.
Almost as old as the United States.
That's right.
I guess the land was here longer, but
And the people.
Huh?
And the people.
people.
All right, all in the favor of the motion, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, nay. Motion passes. Do we have our yak, sorry, is this our yak team?
In the room.
Okay, next item, consider request to upgrade network switch equipment.
Madam Supervisor, I move to approve the request to upgrade Phase 3 of the Township network switches at a cost not to exceed $193,000.
Motion made by Clerk Seeger, supported by Treasurer Slavens. Let me see. Yeah, these are switches, these are, come on. There we go. Light switch. Okay, ITI Services are requesting permission to upgrade the last portion of the township's computer and phone networking infrastructure. The ITI director selected the Meraki brand of networking equipment based on his positive experience with the equipment and its parent company, Cisco. In addition, the Meraki brand of networking equipment offers cloud-based administration, advanced security, and a simplified user interface that allows ITI staff to easily learn how to make configuration changes. And I believe online we have Devin, if, let me see. Yeah, is she a panelist? Okay, great. Devin, do you have anything to add? Are there any questions from the board on this?
Nope.
All in favor of the motion, say aye.
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 Opposed, nay. Motion passes. Next, we have C4. Consider first, G4, consider first reading of an ordinance to amend Chapter 38 of the Canton Code of Ordinances.
Madam Supervisor, I move to introduce, I move to introduce and hold the first reading of a proposed text amendment to Chapter 38 of the Canton, of the Township Code entitled Fire Prevention and Protection to adopt the 2024 International Fire Code version.
Motion made by Clerk Seeger, supported by Treasurer Slavens. Township Board is being asked to consider an amendment to the Township Code of Ordinances to adopt the 2024 International Fire Code. Director Stockline, do you want to add anything?
Probably wondering why it's 24 instead of 25, and that's because they're always a year behind on the fire code.
Comments? All in favor of the motion, say aye.
Kate has a question.
Okay.
I have a comment, not an issue. No, I just want to say thank you for keeping us up to date on our ordinances.
Right, I was surprised to find, I thought that once the law had, the code had changed in the state, it automatically changed with everyone, and it doesn't. So communities can be 5 years behind in their codes, which was surprising.
Could they make their own code?
You mean the fire department?
Yeah.
I guess we could, but it'd be a lot of work. Be a lot of work.
All right, great. All in favor of the motion, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, nay. Motion passes. The next one is consider a request to approve conservation easement and purchase wetland mitigation credits with an amendment to the 2025 fire budget.
Madam Supervisor, I move to approve the request to replace approximately 12 acres of land surrounding the Fire Station Number 4 site into a conservation easement and approve the purchase of .94 acres of wetland credits from Haley Farm LLC in the amount of $131,600 along with the attached budget amendment.
Motion made by Clerk Seeger, supported by Treasurer Slavens. The Township Board previously approved the construction of Fire Station Number 4 at the corner of Michigan Avenue and Lily Road. This location was selected to significantly improve emergency response times the southeast corner of the township. Prior to the start of construction, an environmental review was conducted, which identified that a portion of the property consists of regulated wetlands. To proceed with the project, the township is required to purchase wetland mitigation credits. The nearest mitigation bank with available credits is the Haley Farm LLC Wetland Mitigation Bank, which is located within the same ecoregion, making it an appropriate source for required credits. An environmental review of Fire Station Number 4 at Michigan Avenue Lilly. To offset this, the fire department is requesting approval to place approximately 12 acres of unused surrounding land into a conservation easement, which will reduce the required mitigation and preserve the area from future development. Additionally, the fire department is requesting to purchase 0.94 acres of wetland mitigation credits at a cost of $131,600. Chief Stockline, do you want to add anything?
I'm happy to answer any questions. We're excited to get this rolling finally.
This is our YAC team. I'm sorry, you just come in. Did you have any questions?
How will the creation of of the conservation easement and the construction of fire station number 4 affect the safety and emergency response times for youth in the surrounding community?
Did you hear him?
I did.
Okay, go ahead.
So it's going to decrease our response times to that area, the southeast corner of the township. And our GIS mapping shows that's where we needed the response times to improve. So we're looking at bringing it down from 10 to 12-minute response times down into 7, 8-minute response times, which makes a huge difference in our outcome of our patients.
Any board questions? Kate?
So last few times that developers have come before us and wanted to have an approval that included purchasing wetland mitigation credits, I have requested that they try to do the mitigation within Canton. My understanding is that you were not able to find any where that you could use mitigation credits within Canton, or at least within the Lower Rouge system. So can you tell us a little bit about where this will be?
So there's a couple options of where it can end up. We did attempt to purchase it in our area, and they said that those credits would not be available until 2028.
Chris, do you have your microphone on?
A little closer. There you go.
Thank you.
So we did speak with them, and the property in Canton Township would not be, or the credits would not be available until after 2028. So that's why we were pushing, because we know that the emergency of, or the need for this station. With that being said, there was a couple choices with the company that we're going through, and the Rouge River Watershed was our first choice, and if that's not available, they also have some available in Maumee Lake Plain ecoregion. So there's really only 2 options out there for us at this point that the state's giving us. And I know that Patrick has been working on some stuff to redo that ordinance. I believe you've seen some of that, to try and bring some of those credits back to Canton Township in the future. But we just know that if we delay this any further, we lose grant funding, and then we also will face the risk of increased cost for the construction. So that's why we're kind of forced, our hand is forced in that.
No, I appreciate that, and definitely don't want to delay the project. I'm just trying to be consistent. So,
I appreciate that.
thank you.
Yeah, I'd say in line with that, if there's anything that we can do as a board or a governmental agency to make it so that credits are more available in
Right.
Canton Township, I think I'd be open and willing to do that. That would be
Yeah.
huge.
Yeah,
I
we were
think-
looking at the 27 acres that was donated, and Patrick has to go through a process in the state to get that to be considered as wetlands
Yes.
mitigation.
Now, some of that 27 acres already has a conservation easement over it, correct? Yes.
Yes.
I think 9 maybe has a conservation easement. There's a website where you can see it, but I know that the individuals who sold us that property had placed a, what's that? Marketplace of America they had put their wetland, their conservation easement is on the portion that is adjacent to the river. So keep that in mind.
So if we want to do more, there's a process we have to go through for the state.
Okay.
There's some wetland on the north parcel of Ziboez that's not in a conservation easement, that is classified as a wetland as well. I'll send that map over to planning. It's small from an acreage standpoint. But yeah, it'd be interesting to look at some of the township-owned property and see
Yeah,
where the wetland is.
A lot of it is wetland.
yeah, and so it sounds like we need to have some further discussions with Eagle, and
Yeah.
Patrick is going to help us with that.
Good eye, Kate.
Okay, any other questions or comments? All in favor of the motion, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, nay. Motion passes. Item C6, consider request to waive the bidding process and purchase apparatus equipment from McQueen.
Madam Supervisor, I move to waive the bidding process and purchase apparatus equipment from McQueen in the amount of $36,754.94.
Motion made by Clerk Seeger, supported by Treasurer Slavens. The Township adopted the 2025 budget at the October 22nd, 2024 board meeting, and since then has made various amendments to it. At this time, I'm asking the Board of Trustees to approve the attached budget adjustment for the 25 budget year. A description of the budget adjustment was explained in the attachment.
Reading G7.
Oh, I'm sorry. It went up. Sorry.
It'll happen to you.
Long night.
We're just
Okay,
getting started.
I know. In 2022, the board approved the purchase of a new Sutphen heavy-duty custom S8 pumper engine. The department has taken delivery of the new engine and is requesting to equip it for service. To ensure consistent operations and support quick rotations, the department is also requesting additional equipment for the current engine so all units carry the same inventory. Quotes from various vendors were obtained, but the overall best value came from McQueen at $36,754.94. Therefore, the department is requesting to waive the bidding process and purchase the attached equipment list from McQueen. Chief Stockline, do you want to add anything?
I'll just say that we're waiving the process. I spoke with Director Trumbull on this one because there's so many different pieces in there and there's so many different companies that offer this. So nobody offers all these pieces, and that's why we're waiving or asking for permission to waive the bidding process so that we can go through one company. But we did go out and get some additional quotes that fall in line with this quote as well.
Okay. Does our YAC team have any questions on that one?
No.
Okay. The board? All in favor of the motion, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, nay. Motion passes. Next item, G7, consider approval of 25 budget adjustments.
Madam Supervisor, I move to approve the attached listing of budget adjustments to the 2025 budget.
Support.
Motion made by Clerk Seeger, supported by Trustee Ganguly, and as I said, we adopted the 25 budget at the October 22nd, 2024 board meeting, and since then have made various amendments to it. Director Trumbull, do you want to add anything?
Nothing significant to add. It's really, for the most part, good news for most of the funds. We're just trying to make the budget be more reflective of the actual activity. Our interest income, pretty much for every fund, has ended up more positive. We historically budget that pretty conservatively. So that's coming in higher than we had initially anticipated, and adjusting quite a few of the different property tax revenues. At the end of the day, the good news is in all of the funds, we are reducing the amount of fund balance we are using. So the general fund, for example, while we were budgeting to use almost, about $7.7 million of fund balance, this will help it go down. We're still budgeting to use about $6.8 million of fund balance, but this is going in the right direction. So just trying to clean up the books before year end. So we have a better looking audit when the auditors come in. So it's a housekeeping item.
Great. Does our YAC team have any questions?
No.
Board members? All in favor of the motion, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, nay. Motion passes. Item G7, I'm sorry, that was G7. G8, consider approval of updated purchasing policy.
Madam Supervisor, I move to approve the updates to F10 purchasing policy, procedures, rules, select bidding to be effective January 1, 2026.
Support.
Motion made by Clerk Seeger, supported by Trustee Amara down there. I heard three of them there. The board-approved purchasing policies helps to ensure public funds are used efficiently and effectively when acquiring goods and services. As this policy has not been modified since January 1st, 2016, it has been recently reviewed and staff is recommending changes. While there are various verbiage changes recommended throughout to mirror existing practices and procedures, the most significant changes are increasing the threshold for when purchases must be brought to the board for consideration from $10,000 to $20,000, and increasing the threshold for when 2 of the 3 full-time elected officials must review purchases prior to purchase from $3,000 to $5,000. Director Trumbo, do you want to add anything?
Yeah, the only other thing we did not modify is talking with the leadership group. We are still going to require items over $10,000 to go out for bid or proposals for those items. Since we're raising the threshold, we want to make sure staff are, the plan is to not increase the budget for these items, and we do see a number of purchases come through that you guys don't see that are just under the $10,000 threshold. And we know that from talking to other directors that there's a number of items that get quoted at, $11,000, $12,000, and then when we push back and say, well, this is going to have to go out to bid, they miraculously come under the $10,000 threshold. So we're going to keep that status quo. That was how the directors were comfortable to continue that practice. And so we're not recommending changing that, but we are recommending changing what has to come before the board. I'm happy to answer any questions you may have.
YAC team have any questions?
No.
Tanya?
I just had a comment that I think this is a good change, and that's so that we don't get as many. Sometimes we keep wondering why do we have such a small amount come to us for approval. So, and I agree with what the directors are comfortable in bidding for these.
Expensive. Anyone else? All right. All in favor of the motion, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, nay. Motion passes. G9, consider waiving the bidding process and issue a purchase order to Vanguard Fire and Security Systems for fire system repairs.
Madam Supervisor, I move to approve the contract and purchase order for Vanguard Fire and Security Systems in the amount of $20,406 to provide the quoted repairs.
Motion made by Clerk Seeger, supported by Treasurer Slavens. Consider waiving the bidding process and issue a purchase order to Vanguard Fire and Security Systems. Vanguard Fire and Security Systems annually inspects our fire and safety systems throughout the township buildings. Each building is unique in its safety requirements depending on the nature and usage of the building. Systems as simple as a fire extinguisher or as complex as a commercial kitchen require annual testing and maintenance to maintain peak performance and ensure effective safety. Once inspection reports are submitted, repairs and remediation of deficiency are needed to maintain each system and building. Vanguard will perform all necessary repairs to ensure the fire safety systems are functioning properly. Director Norwood, do you want to add anything?
Thank you, Madam Supervisor. I don't have anything to add. It's just keeping our building safe.
Great. So, YAC representative, have any questions?
No.
Board? All in favor of the motion, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, nay. Motion passes. G10, consider waiving the bidding process and approval of the repair of ambulance 22S7.
Supervisor, I move to waive the bidding process and approve the repair of ambulance number 22-S7 by Overwatch Emergency to an amount not to exceed $20,131.78.
Support.
Motion made by Clerk Seeger, supported by Trustee Berninski. The fire department's ambulance number 22S7 has collision damage on the driver and passenger sides due to being in an accident. This ambulance is a Braun Industries ambulance body-mounted on a 2022 Ford F-550 chassis. Repair of this vehicle is requested due to the age, cost of replacement, and lack of availability of new equipment. A new ambulance is approximately $300,000 and could take up to 2 years to receive. Fleet Services obtained 2 estimates for repair, one from Overwatch Emergency in the amount of $18,301.62, and the other from McQueen in the amount of $19,963.03. It is requested that repairs be approved through Overwatch Emergency because they provided the lower estimate. Fleet also believes Overwatch Emergency will complete the repairs quicker than McQueen, as it only took Overwatch a week to provide the estimate, while it took McQueen more than a month. The estimated time for Overwatch Emergency to complete the work is 4 to 6 weeks. In addition to the estimate, a 10% contingency equal to $1,830.16 is being requested, as it is common for the final cost of repairs to exceed the estimate due to unforeseen damage and extra labor. This would bring the total repair cost up to an amount not to exceed $20,131.78. Director Norwood or Director Stockline, do you want to add anything?
Thank you, Madam Supervisor. I don't have anything from Fleet or MSD. Chief might have something else to add.
Happy to answer any questions.
Our YAC team, have any questions?
No.
Board members? All in favor of the motion say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, nay. Motion passes. G11, consider the Umlor Group and Youssef Chahadi rezoning application.
Madam Supervisor, I move to approve resolution number 2025-48, which denies planning application number 065-RZ-8783, as the application does not meet the standards of section 27.06D4 of the zoning ordinance.
Motion made by Clerk Segers, supported by Treasurer Slavens. The applicant proposes to rezone the 4.29 acre parcel at 47453 Ford Road. Parcel is listed from RR Rural Residential District to C3 Regional Commercial District. The parcel is located at the southwest corner of the intersection of Ford Road and Beck Road. At its meeting on November 3rd, 2025, the Planning Commission held a public hearing and voted 8-0 to recommend denial of the application, as a rezoning application did not meet the requirements of section 27.06D4 of the zoning ordinance. Director Norwood, do you want to add anything?
Thank you, Madam Supervisor. I've had a conversation with the applicant, and it doesn't appear that he's going to be challenging it at this point in time in pursuing this project. Also, Community Planner Patrick Sloan is here also to answer any questions.
Thank you. Patrick, do you want to add anything?
Nothing else to add to the RBA or any of the materials, but I'm happy to take any questions.
Summer did have a statement because she is our planning representative.
I will gladly read the statement from Trustee Foster. Due to my absence at tonight's board meeting, I would like to make a public comment respectfully opposing the proposed rezoning of 47453 Ford Road from RR Rural Residential to C3 Regional Commercial. As both the town board trustee and the board representative to the Planning Commission, we spent over 30 months working on the master plan update that was adopted in June of 2025. During that time, we conducted dozens of public meetings, heard extensive input from residents, staff, commissioners, board members, and volunteers, and worked collaboratively to create a plan that reflects the community's long-term vision for Canton. During the development of the master plan, and especially in discussions surrounding neighborhood nodes, one theme was absolutely clear. The community did not want auto-centric uses at this location. In fact, the draft plan explicitly stated the following prohibited uses: gas stations, car washes, drive-through restaurants, auto repair facilities, auto sales and rental, warehouses, first floor residential adjacent to major roadways. This language was included because residents repeatedly told us they wanted development at Ford and Beck to be walkable, safe, small scale, and neighborhood serving, not high-intensity regional commercial use. Additionally, Canton Township was awarded a SEMCOG grant to conduct a road safety audit at the Ford and Beck and Ford and Ridge intersections. That audit identified numerous safety concerns, many related to traffic volume, turning movements, and congestion, issues that would only be worsened by a C3 regional commercial development. Because of these Because of these documented safety concerns, the board added a specific condition to the master plan adoption resolution. Neighborhood node number 12 would not be implemented until after SEMCOG's safety audit recommendations are completed. That condition was intentional. It ensures that before any significant land use changes occur, the township will have addressed the known safety challenges in this area. Approving a C3 rezoning now would be directly contrary to the long-established RR, or rural residential, zoning of the parcel, the future land use designation of medium-low-density residential, which is 3 units per acre, the explicit community feedback opposing auto-centric uses, the Planning Commission's unanimous recommendation, and the board's own adopted condition tying neighborhood node number 12 to implementation of the SEMCOG safety improvements. Because of these factors, my colleagues on the Planning Commission and I voted 8-0 to recommend the denial of this project on November 3rd, 2025. Granting this rezoning would disregard 30 months of planning work, substantial public input, and the very safety concerns we formally acknowledged when adopting the master plan. For these reasons, I respectfully ask the board to uphold the Planning Commission's unanimous denial and reject the proposed rezoning. Thank you for your time and thoughtful consideration, Summer Foster Township Trustee, Planning Commissioner. And then her address, which I will leave out.
Thank you. Does our YAC team have any questions?
No.
Board have any other comments? Michael?
I will just like to echo Trustee Foster's sentiments and then indicate that the board, this is one of the rare occurrences where when you vote affirmatively, you are denying. So voting yay denies the rezoning request. It's a rare instance where that happens. So we're voting, if you vote yay, that means no. You gotta vote yes to vote no. We're clear. Echo it.
I also echo it. I want to make it clear, at least to me, if it's not, if not for everyone else, but if this was approved, it would be a special land use of a C3 designation, right?
More than likely, because it would be a proposal for a new gas station, it wouldn't be a special land use in C3 for this particular property because there's no affiliated retail that's 50,000 square feet. So what the applicant would plan to do is apply for a planned development district or a PDD.
Okay. Okay. So it's not, yeah, I mean, this is essentially putting commercial in a residential area. And the idea of a neighborhood node is not commercial like this. It's more like a coffee shop or, you know, something that people can walk to, and not, definitely not, you know, as someone who also served on the Master Plan Advisory Board, this is not at all what was envisioned. And it is surrounded by residential on all sides. So yeah, I completely agree with Trustee Foster, and I am concerned about changing zoning of this for sure.
Anya?
Yeah, I of course echo what everyone has said till right now, but the concept of neighborhood nodes were put in the master plan and were considered so that we could walk to those nodes and, you know, is basically go and do some local shopping and, you know, spend some time. The whole idea of walkability was involved in this, and I don't think putting a gas station there or rezoning it to C3 will accomplish that. So I am also voting yay to deny this rezoning.
I
Echo,
agree.
echo, echo.
Do we all echo it?
All echo,
Yeah, we all
echo?
agree.
All right. Feel like we're in a canyon in here.
All right, all in
Goes.
favor of the motion, say aye.
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 Opposed, nay. Motion passes. Item G12, consider waiving the purchasing policy and award a contract to JGM Valve for the purchase and installation of 4 Vaughan submersible chopper pumps for the Warren and Lots and Hampton Ridge sanitary sewer lift stations.
Madam Supervisor, I move to waive the purchasing policy requiring formal bids as the vendor is the sole source distributor of Vaughan chopper pumps in the state of Michigan and award a contract for the purchase and installation of 4 Vaughan submersible chopper pumps from JGM Valve and approve a purchase order for a not-to-exceed amount of $164,526.
Motion made by Clerk Seeger, supported by Treasurer Slavens. The Hampton Ridge Sanitary Sewer Lift Station has been in operation since 2001 and services approximately 250 homes. The Warren and Lot Station services approximately 450 homes. The life cycle of these pumps is typically 8 to 12 years, and our current pumps at Hampton Ridge are the original pumps from 2001 and the Warren and Lot's pumps from 2013. We inspect the lift stations weekly and are frequently required to request corrective maintenance on the pumps. Due to the age and frequency of repairs, it is time for the pumps to be replaced, which are budgeted in the 2025 budget. These new pumps will help reduce the risk of the sewer backups to the residents serviced by these sanitary sewer lift stations. JGM Valve has provided a quote of $149,184 for 4 new replacement pumps, including installation and integration with our SCADA system. JGM Valve is the exclusive dealer of Vaughan chopper pumps in the state of Michigan and is a sole source provider. Director Norwood, do you want to add anything?
Thank you, Madam Supervisor. I don't have anything to add.
Does our YAC team have anything?
No.
Anyone on the board? Great. All in favor of the motion, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, nay. Motion passes. Item G13, consider authorization of 2 purchase orders for construction of the 2025 Canton Leisure Services capital improvement projects and construction engineering services.
Madam Supervisor, I move to approve the award of the 2025 Canton Leisure Services capital improvement projects to Asphalt Specialist LLC and issue a purchase order in the amount of $1,555,597, waive the purchasing policy, and award the 2025 Canton Leisure Services capital improvement projects, construction engineering to Spalding to Decker, and issue a purchase order in the amount of $162,010 and approve the required associated budget amendment.
Motion made by Clerk Seeger, supported by Treasurer Slavens. Engineering Services is requesting a purchase order in the amount of $1,555,597 to Asphalt Specialist LLC. This includes a bid price of $1,423,157 plus a $132,440 contingency. This project includes paving, grading, stormwater, and site improvements for the 2025 Canton Leisure Services Capital Improvement Project as directed by the Capital Improvement Program. The parks that will be impacted include Fellows Creek Golf Course, Pheasant Run Golf Course, Griffin Park, and Freedom Park. Further, Engineering Services is requesting approval to issue a purchase order to Spalding to Decker for construction engineering services in the amount of $162,010. Director Norwood, do you want to add anything?
Thank you, Madam Supervisor. I don't have anything to add. However, it's been collaborating with Leisure Services on this project, so to prioritize these projects.
John? No? Does our YAC team have any questions?
No.
Board questions? In favor of the motion, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, nay. Motion passes. Consider approval, G14, of a budget amendment and purchase order increase for the design and architectural services for the ZB West Nature Area.
Madam Supervisor, I move to approve the required budget amendment and increase the purchase order to Partners in Architecture for the bidding, assistance, and construction administration services for Zibawez Nature Area in the amount of $43,123.61.
Motion made by Clerk Seeger, supported by Treasurer Slavens. Partners in Architecture PLC was approved to provide the conceptual design for the ZB West Nature Area in 2022. Since then, they've prepared various versions of master plans to address changes in the size and scope of the development project. Following the nature area designation, the final design and engineered documents focus on developing the eastern section of the property as a playground, parking lot, and walking path. Due to these changes in scopes, Partners in Architecture has provided a quote for additional services totaling $76,022.58. Parks, Recreation, and Community Services recommends increasing PO is listed by $43,123.61 for the architectural services for ZB West Nature Area. A budget amendment is necessary. Director LaFever, do you want to add anything?
Thank you. Just that, of course, we all know that the ZB West project itself received some grant funding from the state, which is great. This portion of the project was was a board initiative which I believe started in '22. So this, while it's not part of the grant funding, this is part of Canton's match for that. So this is kind of cleaning up some of the initial work that was done to get us to where we are today.
Thank you. Does the YAC team have any questions?
Yeah, we have two questions. First one is, would the budget increase for this park impede on the payments or budgets of any other project in the community? And the second one is, will this new park take up any more space on Ridge Road that is already in place?
So the first part, because the project is grant funded, fortunately, it will not displace any of our other projects that are happening now. So we are pleased with that, and we can't wait to get started on building ZB West Park. As far as taking up space within the park, it will currently be built next to the current parking lot, which is kind of a vacant grass area now. So because ZB West is part of a Nature Conservancy designation, it's limited to how much of the park we can develop. And so this will kind of consist of that developed part of the park. And so we're very excited to be able to do that. And hopefully we can commence building that playground and some of the amenities very soon. So it'll just be in that very small part of the park. We'll see development happen.
Board have any, Tanya?
Director LaFever, is there an estimated time as to when we start doing the building and when it will be completed?
Yeah, so we should be able to start building this park within the spring. We were waiting on some of the permitting to come, some of the testing to come back, some of the soil testing and things required by the grant to come back. So we did receive those. We now have those. And so it's basically, we're at a point now where we can award this to for construction management and then have them proceed and start building.
Thank you.
I'd just like to speak to just how absolutely cool the ZB West project is, because it's a much different way of kind of handling development in the community. One of the cool things about parks and leisure services / community development is that they've engaged the Canton Nature Society. We've talked with them about the project development timeline and what its impact might be to wildlife in the area, and they've been amenable to ensuring that the development of the park itself prioritizes the American woodcock, which is a really cool bird that nests in that area. What the board has really done with ZB West is pretty amazing in a lot of different ways, because if you look at development in Southeast Michigan in general, we're really doing the exact opposite of what people have been doing in Southeast Michigan for the last 200 years. We've taken land that was initially wooded and fallow and wet, and it was turned to agriculture, just like Canton. And then after it was agricultural, it was going to be a subdivision when it was owned by Singh. And then we acquired it. We placed a Nature Conservancy over it. And then we engaged the native tribes to rename it in a way going back to time before it was even farmland. And then now we are looking at the preservation and then the minor development of that land through the context of what the impact would be to the land and to wildlife, which is just quite honestly the opposite of how people tend to handle land development and land management in Southeast Michigan. And I think it speaks to this board's values and it speaks to this community's values, and I'm really proud to be a part of it. So thank you, John, and thank you to the whole team and to the board for supporting this. I think it will be a very cool project when it's all said and done.
Comments or questions? All right. All in favor of the motion say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, nay. Motion passes. G15, consider board acceptance of election commission's approval changes to Canton Township voting precincts, polling locations, and lease agreements.
Madam Supervisor, I move to accept the Election Commission's unanimous approval of changes to Canton Township's voting precinct boundaries and polling locations as approved on May 27, 2025 to establish Life Church at 7001 North Haggerty Road, Canton, Michigan 48187, and Fellows Creek Golf Course Clubhouse at, at 2936 South Lots Road, Canton Township, Michigan 48188 as polling locations, and authorize the clerk to execute the attached lease agreement with Life Church for use as a polling location.
Support.
Motion made by Clerk Seeger, supported by Trustee Borninski, to reflect lower in-person election day turnout and to enhance administrative efficiency. Number of precincts will be reduced from 33 to 20. This consideration allows the clerk's office to more effectively administer elections, strategically deploy personnel, prioritize resources toward expanded early voting operations now required under state law. And this, the township, this will be reviewed by outside counsel in the Township Legal Department and Life Church. And this provides for the use of facility as a polling location at a cost of $1,000 per election. Do you want to add anything, Michael?
Just gratitude to the Election Commission, Trustee Borninski, Trustee Ganguly, for looking at this. We voted back in the spring to approve the new precinct boundaries, and then kind of began engaging with Life Church over the lease agreement with external and internal legal counsel. So I'm just excited to have this done. The deadline for submitting the maps and the precincts is January 6th, which is why it's coming right now. This is the last board meeting prior to January 6th. Just very, very excited to join a substantial number of communities in reducing precinct size, or reducing the number of precincts, increasing the number of voters. I don't know if any of the trustees want to talk about that. One of the cool, unique proposals here is that we spent a lot of time looking at the impact to voters with distance to travel. In particularly, we looked at equity, individuals in the CDBG areas or individuals who lack access to a vehicle. And even though we are reducing the number of precincts and reducing the number of voting locations, the impact to our more vulnerable residents who don't necessarily have reliable transportation is that they will be traveling a shorter distance to vote. So it's kind of a really cool, unique proposal in that what you might intuit would mean that it is more burdensome to vote is actually done the opposite. I'm pretty proud of it. I imagine the Election Commission is as well.
Thank you. The board, questions? Kate?
Just a comment. As Clerk Segrist said, we worked very diligently on this for quite a few months, actually, and went through a few different revisions, and really were very purposeful and mindful when finally, getting to this point. And I want to thank my fellow commissioners, Clerk Segrist and Trustee Ganguly, for all of the work that they put into this. It wasn't easy this time, but I think we came up with a really, really good map, and hopefully, it's going to really work well for the township.
Okay, great. Tanya?
Yeah, I echo Trustee Borninski and Clerk Seeger's thoughts on this. I think the main issue I felt was we focused a lot on the equity of people being able to drive and how much longer do they have to drive to get to a polling location. I think that was the discussion we always came back to, and I like how the clerk's office has worked on naming the precincts very easy, like every the first polling location has 1, 2, 3, 4 precincts. The second one is 5, 6, and so on, so that it's much easy for people to know where they're going to vote at.
Else? Great. All in favor of the motion say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, nay. Motion passes. Item G16, authorize the supervisor to sign a 3-year agreement retaining Schiffman Fournier as special labor counsel for Canton Township.
Madam Supervisor, I move to approve authorizing the township supervisor to sign the agreement with Schiffman Fournier to continue in the role of labor and employee counsel for Canton Township.
Support.
Motion made by Clerk Seeger, supported by Trustee Brunzinski. Schiffman Fournier has represented Canton Township in labor and employment matters since 2017. As an alternative to paying a costly hourly rate plus travel time and expense, the firm has offered a retainer agreement for labor and employment services for a flat monthly fee. Since 2023, Canton has engaged Schiffman Fournier at this flat monthly fee. During this period, Canton has made several collective bargaining agreements with its unions and achieved improved labor relations, assisted by the expertise of the Schiffman Fournier law firm. This agreement will be for a period of 3 years for a sum of $6,750 per month in 2026 for a total of $81,000. The flat monthly fee would be scheduled to increase on the following scale: 2027, $84,000 annually or $7,000 per month; 2028, $87,000 annually or $7,250 per month. This agreement may be extended for one additional 2-year period at the discretion of the township supervisor. Deputy Supervisor, do you want to add anything?
No, I don't, but I'm happy to answer any questions the board may have.
Questions or comments? No? All in favor of the motion say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, nay. Motion passes. G17, consider 1 reappointment, 2 new appointments to the Planning Commission.
Madam Supervisor, I move to appoint Karen Walther and Jeff Malad to the Planning Commission to for terms to expire on December 31st, 2028, and reappoint Alan Cruz to the Planning Commission for a term to expire on December 31st, 2028.
Support.
Motion made by Clerk Seeger, supported by Trustee Ganguly. 3 planning commissioners have terms expiring at the end of 2025. 2 commissioners are not seeking reappointment, and 1 is seeking reappointment. The interview committee met with multiple applicants and recommended reappointing Alan Cruz and appoint 2 members from our Zoning Board of Appeals to the Planning Commission, Karen Walther and Jeff Malad. Ms. Walther and Mr. Malad will begin serving on the Planning Commission in January 2026, creating 2 vacancies on the Zoning Board of Appeals. I'm really pleased with how many people have been applying to our committees. People really like getting involved, which is nice. It's very nice in our large community. Let me see if they're online, if they want to say something. I don't see them. I can't tell. Okay. Any questions from the board? Kate?
Just comments. We interviewed a lot of people for both Planning Commission and the Zoning Board of Appeals, and boy, do we have some really great talent in Canton. So I'm very pleased that Karen and Jeff will be joining the Planning Commission, and that Alan has said he will, be up for, that he would be willing to be reappointed. So I think this is excellent. I also want to thank Nancy Eggenberger and I believe is it Gordon?
Great.
Jankowski? Yeah, for their service to the township. So I'm really pleased.
Any other questions or comments? All in favor of the motion say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, nay. Motion passes. Item G18, consider appointments to the Zoning Board of Appeals.
Madam Supervisor, I move to appoint Jennifer Garnett to fill the remainder of Jeff Malad's alternate term, expire 12/31/27. Appoint Praveen Shirian to fill the remainder of Karen Walther's term, expires 12/31/27, and appoint Mariana Little, Amy DeCory, Robert Carr, and Craig Rackwitz to full 3-year terms to expire on 12/31/2028.
Support.
Motion made by Clerk Seeger, supported by Trustee Brunzinski. 1 member of the Zoning Board of Appeals has a term expiring on 12/31/25. 2 other members are being appointed to the Planning Commission for a separate board action on this agenda. In addition, amendment to the zoning ordinance to expand the ZBA from 5 regular members to 7 regular members was introduced to the Board of Trustees for a first reading on November 18, 2025. Pending a successful second reading for this ordinance earlier on this agenda, the requests in this board action are presented for the board's approval. The Boards and Commissions Interview Committee met with multiple applicants, a lot of applicants, to fill 6 vacancies occurring due to 1 board member leaving, 2 board members being appointed to the Planning Commission, 2 additional full member spots due to the expansion, and 1 open regular position. After interviews, the Interview Committee is recommending the following: appointment of Jennifer Garnett to fill the remainder of Jeff Malad's alternate term expiring 12/31/27. Appointment of Praveen Shireen to fill the remainder of Karen Walther's term expiring 12/31/27. Appointment of Marlena Little, Amy Dukor, Robert Carr, and Craig Rotchwitz to full 3-year terms to expire on 12/31/28. Any questions? Kate, go ahead.
Yes, so this sort of piggybacks on the last one, but again, really happy with the just all of the great applicants. It was very difficult this time, and that's one of the reasons that we chose to expand the board, because we just have such great talent in the township, and also the willingness to serve. So I'm thankful to everyone who applied, and thankful to those who are accepting appointments if this passes, which I assume it will. I also wanted to thank Greg Green for his service to the community.
Any other questions or comments? All in favor of the motion say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, nay. Motion passes. G19, consider the approval of the Municipal Services Department Project Supervisor position to the non-union classified employee merit wage scale.
Madam Supervisor, I move to approve the Municipal Services Department Project Supervisor position to the non-union classified employee wage scale at grade 2215 and approve the required budget amendment.
Motion made by Clerk Seeger, supported by Treasurer Slavens. The Municipal Services Department is responsible for multiple capital improvement projects, roads projects, and water and sewer projects. The combination of these projects totals approximately $10 million a year, and many of the projects are scheduled over multiple years. Due to the volume of work that is occurring and projected to occur throughout the township, the Municipal Services Department has identified the need for a project supervisor position. This position will serve as the administrative lead and to be a liaison to all municipal service divisions for the projects they are responsible for executing. The Municipal Services Department Project Supervisor position was approved by the Merit Commission on November 19, 2025. It is the Merit Commission's recommendation that the position is classified at grade 215 on the non-union classified employee wage scale. The position will not be an increase to headcount, as there is an Engineering 2 vacancy that will not be backfilled, and the funds from the engineering position will be allocated to the Municipal Services Department Project Supervisor position. Director Howell, do you want to add anything?
I don't have anything to add, but happy to answer any questions.
Questions or comments? Oh, Michael?
I'll just speak, we had talked in leadership a couple of times about the importance for this position, given a lot of the projects that we've got going on in the community. I know Director Stockline was very clear about the need for this position as well. I mean, you look at everything that we've kind of had going through the works. So I think I'm in support of this position, and the fact that it's not an increase to headcount, I think is pretty impactful because of the engineering position as well. But I do think it's important inside the community township that we have this position, especially while we're in major construction and renovation and capital improvement phases.
Thank you. Tanya?
Director Norwood, is this the first project supervisor that you'll be having?
Yeah, sir. This is the first one that MSD will have. We're pretty excited about it because this brings a different skill set to engineering because the Township Clerk Seegers is correct. There's so many projects going on. And certainly engineers, we have strong engineers, but the project management skill set is very important.
Yeah,
to-
I'm surprised as a community as big as we have and the number of projects that we have, we don't have a project supervisor or project manager yet in our municipal services division. So I think this would be a great addition to the
It's recognizing that,
department,
the
yes.
work that's coming, certainly on engineering, and other parts of MSD and other parts of the township, whether it's fire, police, CLS.
We also had for a long time an open position. Well, somebody was out on sick leave, so we've been kind of working at a shortfall, and then another took a maternity leave, so we kind of were short-staffed there for a while.
Yeah,
so-
engineering had lots of challenges, so, yeah.
Yes, yes, so this gets us up to where we need to be. All in favor of the motion, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, nay. Motion passes. Item G20. Okay. Consider the approval of the Parks Technician position and letter of agreement with AFSCME.
Madam Supervisor, I move to approve the Parks Technician position, letter of agreement with ASME, and budget amendment as outlined.
Motion made by Clerk Seeger, supported by Treasurer Slavens. The Parks Division is in the process of rebuilding after undergoing significant staffing changes in leadership and Parks Technician personnel. When a position is vacated, Township leadership always takes the opportunity to evaluate its needs and to reposition its staffing for the future progression of the Township. Consequently, with the recent departure of a Parks Technician, it has been determined that the division will benefit from the position of a lead Parks Technician. The introduction of the lead Parks Technician position aligns itself with the ASME structure of the lead Maintenance Technician position and the Head Inspector position. The lead Parks Technician position will oversee park maintenance personnel as well as repairs and improvements to Township parks, buildings, and outdoor spaces. This position will work closely with the Parks and Natural Resources Supervisor. A letter of agreement has been drafted for the addition of the lead Parks Technician position. There will be no additional headcount for the position, and cost is being offset by a vacated Parks Technician position. LOAs are not contracts, as they are not bargained for exchanges, and do not have the essential elements of contract formation. They are simply principled agreements to an area of concern for the parties. If an LOA differs from the collective bargaining agreement, the collective bargaining agreement controls. Director Howell, do you want to add anything?
This is just a continuation of the work that has already started within parks. And so to have the opportunity to have a lead park technician position is really going to help that particular division in service to the community and also with the staffing.
Thank you. Director Lefevre, do you want to add anything?
Nothing further to add.
Position? Okay. Michael, go ahead.
I had the luxury of sitting through the interviews for the manager for Parks and Natural Resources position. And what was clear in that process is that not only has Parks been in a pretty big transition year with the departure of the manager of Parks earlier on in the year, and then the Department of Leisure Services director halfway through the year, and then some staffing things as well, as like the need for good, solid leadership in that group is really high. And so this position, I think, makes a lot of sense, especially as it relates to changing of the job description of the manager position by adding the natural resources feature, because we've added 3 natural areas and we're really talking about engaging natural resources in a way in Canton Township that we haven't done in the past. It was abundantly clear through those interviews the need for additional support with the labor crew, and so I think that this position makes a lot of sense.
Questions or comments? All in favor of the motion, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, nay. Motion passes. 21, G21, consider approval of a 3% wage increase for part-time employees for fiscal year 2026.
Madam Supervisor, I move to approve a 3% wage scale increase for part-time employees for the 2026 fiscal year and approve the decoupling of the annual part-time wage scale increase from the annual non-union classified employee merit wage scale increase.
Motion made by Clerk Seeger, supported by Treasurer Slavens. The part-time wage scale underwent significant revisions and modifications in 2022. An important component of the modification was to ensure that part-time staff could be retained, and inflationary adjustments were made at that time. As approved by the board in February 2022, the part-time wage scale would be tied to an annual wage increase applied to the non-union classified employee merit wage scale. However, since the overhaul and yearly updates to the part-time wage scale, the township has been able to achieve its goal of maintaining competitive wages with the market for part-time employees independent of the merit wage scale. Therefore, a 3% wage increase is being recommended for part-time employees effective January 1st, 2026, and a request is being made to decouple the part-time wage increases from the annual merit wage scale increase. Director Howell, do you want to add anything?
Just that we appreciate the consideration for the part-time employees. Certainly, they are an important part of staffing here in Canton Township with all of the service and that they bring to the township and the work that they do. So the consideration of them is appreciated.
Questions or comments from the board? No? All in favor of the motion say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, nay. Motion passes. Great. So the next board item is additional public comments. Anybody? I see two people. If you want to add any public comments, I know just one. You can raise your hand electronically. Okay, no one in the room. All right, great. Now we'll go to administrative comments. We'll start back there with Patrick. Do you have anything?
No comments.
No. Wendy?
Nope.
Emma? Okay, thank you. Do you want to give a quick update on the food bank? Right, very good.
So for those listening at home, we have served, since the day we've started the food pantry, 176 households.
Yes. And what are we seeing in terms of usage since Thanksgiving? Okay. Great. That's right.
For those at home who were not able to hear that,
Like I'm doing this.
it sounds like the daily numbers have dwindled since Thanksgiving as the SNAP benefits have stabilized, and we see that as an encouraging sign.
Very good. Thank you. Thank you, interpreter.
Actually, I do have a question. Thank you, Emma. So I am curious about how long we plan to keep the pantry open so that if people do want to continue donating to our food pantry that you and other township employees have helped set up. Thank you for that, by the way. Can we still do that? What's the process for that?
Microphone.
I recommend
Because
it.
this is a long speech now.
Okay, can you hear me?
Yes.
Yeah.
As of right now, the food pantry will remain open until December 23rd. Our committee is going to be meeting after the holiday to see if we will be extending the pantry into the new year. But I will say with our numbers trending down, it looks like December 23rd could be a good close date. Until then, we are still accepting donations. People can donate here at the Township Administration Building in our lobby. We are open 8:30 to 4:30 Monday through Friday. And those are the same hours for the pantry.
Any other questions for Emma? All right. Thank you.
Thank you.
Good job. Director John?
I just want to add, as the department who employs probably 98% of the part-time staff in the township, it's such a huge deal, and I appreciate the board supporting their 3% raise, the wage increase to the part-time wage scale. It's vital. Talk about the operations of all of our facilities. We have so many operations that are 7 days a week, 360 some days a year, and nights, weekends. It's part-time staff that are operating those facilities. So they are vital to our organization, and I just can't say how much enough that we appreciate what they do and the fact that the board supports them. So thank you for that.
Thank you. Director Rochelle.
We have enjoyed decorating for holidays around the world throughout the township, and so we hope that the community will also enjoy coming in and learning about different cultures and different countries and their traditions during the holiday season.
Thank you. Thank you. Director Chris?
Since this is our last board meeting, Merry Christmas and Happy Holidays to everyone.
Thank you. Thank you.
I echo what Chris said. Happy holidays to everybody, and hope everybody has a safe and healthy holiday. And this is my last meeting for.
Yes. Thank you. Thank you for your service. You're going, yay!
I'm going to echo my colleagues. Happy holidays to everybody. And Merry Christmas, Happy New Year.
Thank you.
Merry Christmas and Happy New Year. And thank you to Deputy Chief Johnson for filling in while Interim Chief Joe Biley was away. You really did an outstanding job.
The board, Amara? Oh, I did them already.
Oh, yeah.
They started the comments.
Yeah, it's 9:08. So, you know, I've been on the board now for a year and a couple days, and I want to thank everyone on the staff who have been meeting with me and helping me navigate what it looks like to serve the township. So I want to thank all of you and appreciate all the work that you do every day to serve our constituents. And I hope that everyone is able to stay safe during the holiday season and healthy, and that everyone is surrounded by loved ones, and that we can stay warm too, because we have some snowstorms coming our way.
That's right. Thank you. Kate?
So, yes, I would like to thank all the directors and staff, because this is our last regular board meeting before the holidays. So if we don't see you, if I don't see you, hope you have happy holidays and get some time to relax and spend time with your families. We do have a study session next week, right? Yeah. So we'll be here.
Yes.
So I'll say happy holidays to you then. I did want to also wish our Jewish residents happy Hanukkah, which will be starting this weekend.
Kwanzaa?
Kwanzaa is later, isn't it? It's December 26th.
Thank you. Diane?
I want to ditto. Thank you all for another wonderful year, and I hope you all have a wonderful holiday. Happy holidays to everybody. I do want to put a little plug in. You know, we've gone through some software changes, so I just want to remind residents who have paid their water bills online, you know, to re-register. We've lost email addresses, so it's real important the first time you go back into our website, use our website, because there's a doxum out there, and we want to make sure people are using our website to make their payments and re-register for your water bills. And tax bills were mailed out December 1. So happy holidays, everybody, and again, thank you all so much.
Thank you. Tanya?
Yeah, I want to wish everyone happy holidays, Merry Christmas, Happy Hanukkah, and all the other holidays that we have in the next month. And I want to thank all the township employees for all the support that they provide us in getting all the information. And we call them, and they are immediately eager to help us and answer our questions. I also especially want to thank the Public Safety Department who worked during the holidays, because last Christmas Day I had an accident, and they were there to help me, and like, you know, they were working through the holidays, and it was wonderful to get their support and help in a crisis. So thank you so much.
Thank you. Michael?
Yeah, to Christians who are currently in the Advent season, happy Advent to you as we prepare for Christmas. That's exciting. The Segrist household will be doing Hanukkah this year. Jack is really excited about Hanukkah, and I've been I was getting texts from former trustee Snyderman during the meeting about how to make the potato pancakes.
The latkes.
Yeah, the latkes. So we're super geeked about that. We got the dreidels. We're going to give that a shot. And so that's pretty cool and exciting. So happy Hanukkah next week to anybody who is celebrating that in Canton Township. I will definitely say, I think it's important to acknowledge that yesterday an individual died by suicide in the parking lot here at the Township Administration Building. And the holidays, for everyone's kind of, people have their own kind of calculus that drives them to that point. But during the holidays especially, highs can be very high and lows can be very low. And this is sometimes a very challenging time for folks for whatever reason. So it's not always easy to do so, but it's important, I think, to be gentle with each other, to be kind and to be careful. And then for folks who are struggling or having a hard time, I do think it's important to reach out. A number of people are open and willing to help out if need be. And I also, my heart goes out to any of the township employees that experience that, because that is it's hard when that happens, because the pain just kind of gets dispersed into other people, and they kind of carry that with them. But my gratitude goes to the township employees that address that and clean that up as well for us. So please hold that individual in your thoughts and prayers during this time, and anybody else who might be suffering as well, and keep that in mind.
Thank you. Just want to let everybody know, so today at 4:30, one of our studies came to fruition again. And one thing about these studies is they're great. And the more we look at the bigger grants and funds coming into the community, the more we know that they say, do you have a study or data to show that you need this? And so our studies are important. And one more came fruitful today when we christened first level 3 chargers out at Fellows Creek. And so EVCO partnership we formed with them, and we're going to be getting 25% of whatever comes in for that. But while it was being tested this weekend, a lot of residents were driving by saying, is this ready? Can I charge up yet? But we do have some coupons if anybody wants to try them out, try those chargers out. So we EVCO created some coupons that we have in the supervisor's office. Another thing, we had talked about birthdays. So next year is the 250th anniversary of the United States of America. So we're going to have some community celebrations around that. And as Clerk Seeker said, we did have a tragic incident at the building, and we had some employee assistance available for our employees today. And, public safety and our fire department did a great job containing that and keeping the situation safe. But unfortunately, it ended up tragically. And as we know, mental health definitely permeates still. And we do have, resources at the township. Emma is our resident advocate. She can point you to resources. We also have Kristen Farmer, our clinician in the police department, that can help with that. And also, if anyone, wants to get a hold of somebody right away, the phone number is 988. So anybody can call 988 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. If you just want to talk to someone, if you don't have someone you feel you can reach out to right away. But with that, happy holidays. We are here in a study session next week if anyone wants to attend. But in the meantime, this is our last board meeting. So thank you to the staff and everybody. And safe, peaceful holidays to everybody. Thank you. Can I have a motion to adjourn?
So moved.
Motion made by Clerk Seeger, supported by Treasurer Slavens. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, nay. Meeting's adjourned. Thanks.